There is a course of lectures in methods of teaching foreign languages. Actually, the topic is lesson organization, and today we should start with planning. First of all, planning a lesson. There are two kinds of planning: module planning and lesson plan. Let's start with module planning. Module plan is a calendar plan of teachers' work during the whole year. It includes objectives, linguistic material, exercises, language skills, accessories, and homework. As for objectives, objectives for each lesson within the concrete module, such objectives as to help the class to speak English better or to teach pupils to order cannot be the objectives. There are some abstract aims to be pointed in teacher's notes. For example, practical aim to develop people's habits and skills in using foreign language, or educational aim to develop people's mental abilities and intelligence in the process of learning the foreign language, or cultural aim to extend pupils' knowledge of the world in which they live. Some other aims can be as follows: patriotic aims, ideological aims, creative aims, aesthetic aims, and so on. Teacher can put all these aims down in his notes, but not to tell pupils about them because they are too much abstract to be clear to the learners. Pupils who come to the lesson should know that what they are going to do during the lesson, what performance level is required of them, and how it can be achieved. For example, teach pupils to understand the following words when hearing, and to use them in sentences orally, or teach pupils to form new words with the help of new suffixes to use them in the situations given. Teach pupils to consult a dictionary to look up the meaning of the following words, some words for some exact topic, or teach pupils to recognize the international words, or teach pupils to understand the statements in the past perfect tense and to use them in the following situations. Teach pupils to ask and answer questions, for example, in the present simple tense, and to make up dialogues following the models, or teach pupils to speak about the following objects or the classroom on the utterance level, or to make up a few sentences about this or that, or check pupils' skills in reading and understanding an unfamiliar text using a dictionary. The teacher can state no more than 3 concrete objectives for a particular lesson. The next topic is linguistic material. By linguistic material, we understand words, word combinations, phrases, sentence patterns, sounds, grammar. For example, in Module 2, 10 new words increase, salmon, and so on, for words combinations. For example, draw curtains, pass by, so on, and 3 sentences patterns: we definitely won't, and so on. The next part is language skills. By language skills, we understand listening, speaking, writing, and reading. For example, to study the second module, pupils should have 4 lessons during 2 weeks. Within the second module, teacher should develop pupils' speaking skills in topic memory. During the first lesson, he develops sentence level. During the second lesson, utterance level, and finally, during the third lesson, the speech level, prepared speech, and the fourth lesson, unprepared speech within the material memory. As for accessories, books, cassettes, notebooks, CD discs, and so on, anything can be there. As for planning a lesson, actually a daily plan for each lesson includes objectives, activities for oral practice, reading, writing, and so on, evaluation techniques, quizzes, texts for reading, texts for listening comprehension, then home assignment, and the teaching aids and materials. The plan itself should be, the first one, brief, but with some sufficient detail to be precise. The second one, assign a definite number of minutes to each activity. The third one is indicate exactly what words, phrases, facts, or items are to be learned, and how to be exact through exercises. For the lesson plan to be full, the teacher should take into consideration the common requirements to the lesson. The first requirement is every lesson should begin with greeting in the foreign language and a brief talk between the teacher and the pupils. Also, the foreign language should be used for all classroom activities. The teacher manages the class while they are completing activities, giving some directions. For example, look at the blackboard, listen to your classmates, and so on. The second requirement is there should be a variety of activities at every lesson, including pronunciation drill, oral activities, reading and writing. The lesson should be conducted at a high speed when oral drill exercises are performed. The fourth requirement is the lesson should provide a certain sequence in pupils assimilating language material. For example, there are 2 stages in teaching vocabulary, and so they should be observed. The fifth requirement is the lesson should provide time for the activity of every pupil in the class. They must be active participants. Often a teacher speaks more than all the pupils together in class. The sixth requirement is the work done during the lesson should prepare pupils for their independent work at home. Never assign exercises that haven't been covered in class. And the final requirement is the lesson should be well equipped with teaching aids and the teaching materials.